The talent show is back, guys. We had no prior warning, nothing in the trailer last night, but it returns tonight with an array of quote-unquote talent on display. So we have got something to look forward to, and it might be a good one. Before we get to that, let's have a look at the first look press release, which details what's happening in tonight's episode. You get more detail, quite frankly, from the press release than you do from the actual video trailer. Joey has something to get off his chest. After an emotional day at the Love Island villa, that evening Joey and Jessie sit down at the fire pit to discuss meeting one another's families, and it appears he has something he wants to get off his chest. He reveals, "My nan and my sister adore you." As he adds, "Your dad told me you got something special here. I know that. It's true." And when Jessie asks why his sister got emotional, Joey takes the opportunity to share his real feelings with Jessie. But what will he have to say? I think we all know what he's going to say. He's going to reveal to Jessie, which I thought Jessie already knew, that his mum died when he was very young, so the reason his sister's emotional is because she's probably thinking it would be great for Joey's mum to see him with Jessie. Now, I do feel like, see, I don't want to say it, but you know, it's tragic. He lost his mum when he was, what, 10 or 11? That's a tragedy for any child. No child should go through that. Having said that, I don't know whether one should then say, well, Joey's behaviour is justified because he went through a tragedy. And I don't want that to kind of be the message we're getting across here, because regardless of what happened to him, I do feel like his behaviour has been a bit off in the villa. But we've covered all that, and I do have sympathy for the guy. I really, really do. And that's no doubt what he's going to mention to Jessie here, and she will probably feel sorry for him and maybe perhaps understand a bit better why he behaves the way he does, because let's be honest, if you go through such a tragic thing so young, it will affect the way you think, it will affect the way you behave, because it will mark you for life and it will have certain effects on you as a child that will no doubt stretch into adulthood. Later that night, Mimi pulls Josh for a chat. When he suggests the daybeds, Mimi replies, "I've got something better." Taking him to the terrace, she says where it all began. She then confides in Josh of their current couple. "I'm so happy. I'm a lot happier than I think I've ever been in this villa." And it appears Josh very much shares her feelings as he says, "I feel like one of the luckiest men alive." Meanwhile, unbeknownst to them, AYO confides in Kieran down at the fire pit about what his brother had to say during the family visit, revealing, "You know, when I was sat there with my brother and we were chatting a lot about the Mimi situation, his opinion was that me and Mimi were better suited. In the moment, I didn't agree. And like, I haven't brought it up to Jessica, but I feel like I will need to do that. I don't know how she's going to take that now." Later that night, AYO decides to pull Jess for a chat to be honest about what his brother had to say. But with the bombshell dropped, how will Jess take the news?
You know, when I was sat there with my brother, his opinion was that me and Mimi are better suited. I just wanted you to be in the clear about it.
What's wrong? What is it?
There's a few things I want to say about this. Firstly, AYO is under no obligation to tell anyone what his brother said. The fact that he tells Kieran is a bit of a silly move, and the fact that he feels obligated to tell Jessica, I think, is also a silly move. Why? Well, Jessica may insist on AYO telling her everything, but let's just remember, they haven't been dating that long. What's it been? 3 weeks? 2 weeks? He's not obligated to tell her everything. And you know, I certainly wouldn't want to tell someone everything, having dated them for only 3 weeks. How much personal information should someone get after dating someone else for 3 weeks? I think very limited personal information, quite frankly. That happens after a period of months, etc., etc. You can choose what to tell someone. And he wouldn't be being deceptive if he didn't tell Jessica this information. Why? Well, because if he decides that what his brother said is not important, he can just park it to one side and say, you know what? That's my brother's opinion. I don't agree with him, and move on. The thing that people are getting angry about on social media is, why did AYO's brother have to say that? He was projecting onto AYO. But you have to think of it the other way around. Firstly, this is AYO's elder brother, right? And he respects his elder brother. You could tell by the way he was with his brother that he obviously respects his elder brother a lot. And when someone says something to you about a relationship you're in, and they don't say what you want to hear, If it bothers you, then that's something you need to investigate. Not something you need to necessarily get angry with them about or say, well, they're just projecting onto me. No, no, no. You need to look at it and say, oh, hang on, hang on, hang on. I respect that person. Maybe there's some truth to what they said. Let me have a think before you get all mad. I'm sure you've all known people in your family who, when perhaps someone you know in your family is dating someone they don't think is appropriate, and they say it, and the person who is in that relationship gets angry with them, but then has a think and maybe reconsiders whether they should be dating that person or not. Sometimes it's really good advice, and that person avoids a life of misery because they got rid of that person. Yeah, you know what I mean? And sometimes it's not good advice, and they ignore it, move on, get married, and have a very happy life. I feel like this whole thing is just overblown. Ayo's brother had a right to say what he said. If he sees something that's affecting his younger brother and wants to talk about it, let him talk. Let Ayo consider it. And maybe the problem is that Ayo still has a niggle at the back of his head about Mimi, but he doesn't really want to say much. Now he's going to say it, and Jessica's no doubt going to get upset. And for me, I like Ayo. I'm not a huge fan of Jessica. I just find, since coming back from Casa, she has been, I think, quite, I don't know, demanding and obsessed with Ayo. And I feel like it's not really needed. I don't think it works particularly well. And people say, oh, she's bringing out the best in you. I'm like, really? Is Ayo any different now to when he was with Mimi? He seems like the same guy to me, but that's just my opinion. It's a new day in the Love Island villa, and it's time for the Islanders to showcase their hidden talents. As Ruben receives a text which reads, Islanders, the spotlight awaits. Tonight it's your turn to shine at the Love Island talent show. Hashtag show up and show off. Hashtag get practicing. As the Islanders get ready to brush up on their skills, Joey exclaims, this is our time to shine. Nicole is first up to the stage as she treats her fellow Islanders to a sexy dance. Didn't she already do that in the heart rate challenge? And remarks afterwards, Kieran's jaw was on the floor, and that's all I wanted tonight, was to see Kieran's face like that. So mission complete. Next up is Ruben, who showcases his whistling and singing talents, dedicated to the temperamental British summertime as he performs his rendition of Singing in the Rain. And explaining the performance very much needed its own lamppost, he calls Grace to the stage as his lovely lamppost of a lady. Oh, that's a callback, isn't it? One by one, the Islanders take to the stage with Matilda performing a puppet show. Okay. Right, with the plot being of her and Sean's Love Island story. Grace leads a yoga class with the triangle as percussion as she encourages all of the Islanders to downwards dog with her. And Josh puts his culinary skills to the test, leading a pancake and waffle masterclass as he invites Mimi to do the taste test. Joey treats the Islanders to a self-produced rap. Okay, that is just spelling absolute dire 1 out of 10 musical misery. Kieran wows with his rugby skills. Okay. Does he play a match of rugby by himself? Jess provides a colourful performance with an artist masterclass. Plus, Sean comes dressed as the Candyman, giving the Islanders a pick and mix sweet roast. Oh my goodness. That just, that's a, Joey and Sean thus far sound like the worst. Jesse gives a larger-than-life performance on stilts. Ayo performs the flute with his rendition of Mary Had a Little Lamb. And last but not least, Mimi belts out a karaoke classic of 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton. Once all the Islanders have performed, they must deliberate on the winner of the Love Island 2024 talent show, but with an array of talent on display, who will reign supreme? Now, I don't recall hearing Mimi sing during this season of Love Island. I've heard Ruben sing a few times. So maybe Mimi's got a great voice. I'm looking forward to that. There's lots of this I'm not looking forward to. I have to say, Sean's Candyman roast. Do you remember last year when Messy Mitch tried to do a roast? Was that? Yeah, that was in Love Island, wasn't the talent show. And it was abysmal. So you'd have thought they'd have learnt from last year's Messy Mitch roast, don't do another one. But Sean will, and it'll be terrible, I can assure you. Same with Joey's rap. But these all sound... listen, we love the talent show. It's dreadful. We all like it. And sometimes, very occasionally, someone actually does have a genuine talent. But I have to say, normally, they're pretty bland and vanilla. Let's hope tonight we get lots of laughs as well as lots of moments of car crash TV. Let me know what you think, guys. Let me know what you think about Ayo telling Jessica what his brother said. Should he be doing that? Let me know what you think of Joey and Jesse, and Joey being more kind of open-hearted, for lack of a better term, with Jessie, and let me know what you think about the talent show, what you were hoping to see and what you're actually going to see and what you're going to suffer. Because we've got this far, we're all suffering, so we're all going to suffer together, guys, okay? Unity in our suffering to get through the Love Island talent show. I'll see you there.